Hey guys, so I decided I'd try something just a little bit different uh, for various reasons. So I'll be trying to record my voice instead of actually putting music on the videos itself. The reason being is YouTube wants to start placing ads on my videos for use of other copyright materials. It's either that or lawsuits and stuff like that, and I really don't want to get into any of that. And I want to keep my videos ad-free as well. So, can't really place a copyright on my voice. So, here goes. Okay, this also might help me keep me a little bit more focused as well in the video to help keep the video shorter and more concise. Okay, so here in the first part, I've already done this, or most of this project, so I'm just going to kind of show you guys what I've done, and we can kind of go over it when we're talking tonight in our phone call. So it says to create a project and add a list view, progress bar, and 3 buttons. So I've already done that. Okay, hang on, it's got to load. Okay, so my progress bar is here. Then my list view. And then I had to nest another linear layout inside of my main linear layout in order to have the buttons go horizontal with each other instead of stacked on top of each other, and then you have to figure out how to scroll the app and all of that stuff. So that's the beginning here of the nested linear layout, and then these are my 3 buttons right here. Okay, so now it says to add the event handler to the create button. So here's where I'm saying on the create button I want you to run the create method. And my create method is, I just saw it, okay, it's right here. And I've actually, this one's already threaded, so it's over here. So I have it displaying a toast when the file has been created and all the numbers have been saved to the file. And so this is what the toast will be displaying. I like the static final variables because it gives me a central location, normally at the top of my class, where I can change things throughout. I don't have to go and hunt for everything. And you can see I've got comments here from when I recorded the video before. So this is my default constructor, which loads the progress bar, the main activity context, and then the file name where the numbers need to be stored. This happens here before the thread actually happens. This is all the heavy lifting. It's not actually line 52, just ignore that. So here is where my file is actually opened, so I can write stuff to it. And then temporary string. And this loop here is actually what is doing the actual writing of the numbers. So this here, I'm actually using my loop control variable inside my for loop here as me writing the numbers. That's why it starts at 1 instead of 0. I normally start my loop control variables at 0. This one starts at 1 because I want the numbers 1 through 10 to be going into the file. And so if I'm using that variable, so I don't have to create new ones, it's a little bit easier on the memory, even though one integer is not really going to have a huge impact on my memory. I just like to be as efficient as I can. So this here converts my loop control variable, which is an integer, to a string, so I can write that string to a file. And then this here, I did it this way. I could have just told it to put a \n and whatnot, but I did it this way because that way it's a little bit more platform independent. This will go out to the system and say, what is your new line? And then it'll put that in there as well. So that way it's not just oh, well, if, and I've never seen it, but if some operating system doesn't recognize \n as the new line, then this will get it. And then publish progress, I'll show you that a little bit later. And then thread sleep, so the instructor has asked that in order to simulate a heavier workload on the app, that we have the thread sleep for, I think it was 1/4 of a second is what that is. That closes my file, exception handling. I don't have anything to return. Okay, so on progress update, this is where my published progress is coming in through. That's just, it's increasing the progress bar. That's it. Nothing else. The IDE actually collapsed everything up here for me. I think it did that up here as well. So that wasn't me. It just fixed it for me, I guess. So then when the thread is exiting, you got on post execute. It's resetting the progress bar and then displaying my toast. So this here is my final variable up front, or up here, that shows me what I want to display. Okay, moving forward. So now the load button. So this one's supposed to load everything that create numbers here made in the file, and then put those into the display itself. So I tried to make it threaded. I couldn't do it, and so I took a look at the instructor solution and copied that over, and it still didn't work. So even with the instructor solution, it still causes the app to crash whenever this class is instantiated. So I'll kind of go through here and show you here. So he's got his default constructor here, which once again is bringing in the progress bar, the context, the file name, and then his array adapter here on line 31. So before, he's actually displaying a lot of toasts to update you on the progress that's going. So on his pre-execute, he's resetting the progress bar and then displaying a toast saying that he's getting ready to load the data. In do in background, which is the actual meat of the thread, he's got his file loaded here. So he's doing a try with resource, or with resources rather, and it's you need a certain API. Hence, I actually put this in here, the target API. I forget what it's called, but yeah. So that's there to say that this particular method here is actually going for here, instead of, I think my actual target API for this project is like 11. So the try with resources here requires target API 19, which is why that is there. So this is opening his file, getting it ready to read, and then this is doing the actual reading from the file, and then here we'll be putting it into a list, and then this whole thing is going to continue while there's more stuff to be read. And then you have your exception handling, and we don't have anything to return. So here, this is where the data is actually added to the array adapter, which we get from the do in background method. And then here he's updating the progress bar. Now this is a little bit different. So over here we updated the progress bar by, I think it was by a count. So we're getting an integer. Let's see where to go. Yeah. So async tasks is giving us an integer for that one. I actually have no idea where that's coming from. Oh, yes I do. So it's coming from my for loop here. I'm giving it my loop control variable, which updates the progress bar. Over here though, since we don't really want to count, what we're doing is we're counting. Okay, let me organize my thoughts. The array adapter has a get count method, as you see here. And so when things are added to the adapter, we're counting that and then setting the progress bar to that. So that's what that's doing. As we're executing the thread, once again we reset the progress bar, and then he displays a toast saying the data has been loaded. Okay, so add an event handler to your clear button that clears the list. This one was perhaps the easiest, because all you do, really quick, so this is my load here. I'm doing basically the same thing over here, it's just not been threaded. So, and I could put all these in the same one, but I didn't. So it's just doing the same thing through there. Okay, back to the clear method. So all it does is it removes the array adapter from my list view, which then removes the numbers from the display, and then displays a toast saying, yay, it's been cleared. And run the app. So even though my computer is really fast, it's still going to take a sec in order for it to initialize. Just because the emulator appears to be a pretty heavy-duty application. So, but it's a lot faster than it was before. Before it took it like 10 minutes to load, and now it's down to under a minute. So we'll just wait for that. Actually, while we're waiting, I'll show you my new RAM. Because I got RAM to spare, so while that's loading, I can do other stuff. Look at that. 8 gigs. So happy. Okay, anyways. And it's still not loaded yet. But normally I wouldn't even be at this point in the loading process. So it's really flying. Okay, so there's the operating system, and the app should be loaded immediately. Maybe. Okay, so it's still loading for some reason. There we go. Okay. So here's the create. If you notice the button, it grayed out and then it immediately went back to where it was supposed to. So that should be loading. Okay, let me look at what's going on here. Okay, you know what? I have a video of what the app is doing. It was the one that I pulled off my phone. So I'm just gonna show y'all that. Okay, so this is me getting everything set up, making sure that my USB debugging is ready. And then I've actually switched back to my computer now, and I'm building the app itself and sending it to the phone. It has to install the API and all of that stuff. So it should pop up here any second. So this was the video that I tried to overlay. Okay, here it comes. Okay, so I actually do this in pretty quick succession. So I hit the create button right there. It's created the numbers, and then I load them. And once the toast goes away, I clear them. And that's it. So that shows the functionality of the app itself. So that is it. So congratulations, yay! We're amazing. We can do multi-threading in Android development.